Hello. Awesome. Good morning. Thanks for coming by. Hi. My name is Brent. Hopefully you know that if you're here. I also go by Dorklord Canada on all of the socials. Um, and welcome to what is going to be somewhat of an experiment. This is hopefully going to be a 24-hour stream of solo TTRPGs in support of Extra Life. Um, we'll see how far I actually get, because, yeah. Um, but, Amber! Aw, thanks so much. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, thanks for coming by. It's going to be so much fun. So, we're gonna um so here's how today is generally going to go. I am going to do these things in like 2 hour chunks. On Thursdays I've been doing solo TTRPGs in about like 2 hour sessions. um and it's been it's been a lot of fun. So that's sort of how I'm breaking today up. I'm going to have 12 different solo TTRPGs. Actually, Amber, who is in chat right now, is the creator of the one I'm playing first, which is Fire Sauce Fever Dream. And yeah, it's going to be a fun little game. We have to when we get to the gameplay, one of the first things we have to do is actually we have to build a part of the game. If you've, for those of you that might remember, they go by a lot of names: fortune tellers, cootie catchers. But this game relies on, yes, Amber, your game. I'm so excited to play it. Um, Sorry, the sound of paper is this one actually from this past Thursdays. We played Delve, and this is the start of my um, dwarven stronghold map. We ran into some monstrosities and some ancient temples and things like that. But and that was a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll get to that, and there's going to be arts and crafts because we have to build the cootie catcher and then write it. I could have been like very, very efficient and printed off that page and just used the one that came with the game, and then I'm like, who as a kid did that? Nobody as a kid did that. Um, maybe that one super nerdy kid who got a printer ahead of everybody else and then just like used the printer for everything. But nope, we're going to make this by hand. So I'm going to use the thing as a guide. But oh, yeah, you're right. I thought I had set it up to drop one right away, but it did not. Um, do 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 do. There you go. Exclamation point! Extra life. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about why we're here this morning. Yes, I want you to give money to the kids. The kids deserve it. So I am fundraising for Extra Life. Extra Life is like my go-to charity of choice. I've been fundraising for them for the last 10 years. Um, yeah, Amber, the kids do deserve it. I talk about the fact that, like, when I was, excuse me, excuse me again. When I was like 13 or 14, I got pneumonia and was bedridden at home for like 3 months. Missed a big chunk of the school year. Missed socializing, and it was just miserable. Like just being at home with pneumonia for 3 months. It was miserable for me. It was miserable for my mom. Like, let's be honest. Um, and like, I can't imagine anything like if you're a kid and you're sick, like just like a cold or a flu. If you're young enough, and maybe the first time you've gotten something like that, and it just you feel awful and you don't know why, and no one can really explain it to you, and people try and comfort you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pneumonia sucks. Cat, it is the worst. And I wish I could say that was the last time I caught pneumonia, but people who have pneumonia know if you get it once, it's much easier to get it again. And I spent an awful gosh darn long time working working out of doors throughout my life, so plenty of opportunity to get it again. Anyway, yeah, like if you're a kid and you're sick, it's just awful. And that's just if it's like a cold or a flu or something that you're going to get over in like... Is it really? Like, which audio? By the way, are you hearing music out there? Because I do have music streaming through. Maybe I need to just... Here, let me just do this. Really? Okay, hold on a sec. That's weird. There shouldn't be another. Let me do this. You know what it is? Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, thank you. Because I would have gone deep down that rabbit hole. Don't even test me. Yes, my stream is showing. I figured out how to make the stream show on the Extra Life page, so if folks went there, they could catch some of what's going on here. So if you do have both open, there is going to be like a little bit of a overlap or delay. Anyway, what was I? Oh yeah, sick kids. So like having a cold or a flu when you're a kid is awful. I can't imagine what it would be like to have something worse, like to be a kid and have, something that is chronic or ongoing or just right. And so, places like the hospital that I'm supporting here in Edmonton, the Stollery Children's Hospital, but like all of the children's hospitals in the Children's Miracle Network and all of the... Thanks, Eber. And yeah, so that's why this is so important to me, is that I want to support places that can help kids get through that stuff. Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Teddy bear dressed like a doctor. Nice. I was old enough that I didn't get into things like that. Although I do remember during that 3-month period, my mom was a lot more lenient about like buying me books and things like that, and going on library runs. Although, I mean, it still wasn't like a weekly library run was still not doing it for me. I was blowing through books way too fast. Still do, if I'm honest, but there it is. So yeah, Extra Life has meant a lot to me. I mean, the fact that I can game and support Extra Life. Gaming is something that I've loved to do since I was like 10 years old, and being able to do that and raise money for sick kids is outstanding. Oh, Cat, that is... Wow. Thank you so very much for the donation. Yeah, so my initial goal today is to hopefully reach $1,000. Kat has very generously. You are too kind. Um, so we are currently at $738 out of 1,000. Thank you so very much, not only to Kat for the donation today, but everyone who has donated up to this point. You are wonderful. Thank you so very much for your support. I'm super excited to get this out the door. Yeah. On a more, I don't know if it's actually selfish, because ultimately it's going to help me do more fundraising, but on a more personal note, I guess, if you haven't followed me already, please do follow the channel. I am trying to get to affiliate status, because affiliate status unlocks a bunch of stuff that I can do around fundraising that I can't do right now. Obviously Twitch doesn't want anybody just rocking up to their channel or their system and fundraising a bunch of money for stuff. Yeah. So if you haven't followed and you can, please do. What else? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I got a piece of mail that I didn't notice I had until just this morning, and I thought I could open it. Sorry for that noise. That may or may not be a pleasant noise. I find it very satisfying to ooh. Okay. Just gonna make sure there's nothing else in there before I toss this off to the side. I have been known to do that. Back when I was Ennie's judge, and we were getting gaming stuff all the time. We would get just boxes and packages and stuff from gaming companies. And I almost threw out the special 24, the D24 that came with a Norse themed game. The D24 had the Norse runes on each face. And I almost missed that because it was packaged separately in the oh, good. This came just in time for me to be able to. So, sorry. Rude of me to open a package and then just ignore all of you. So this is what came. I backed this on during Zine Quest on Kickstarter. It is a role-playing game about. Let's see here. Congratulations! You've been accepted to Smitherton Academy, the finest school for the study and practice of magic in this or any realm. Your placement is confirmed, tuition paid, and you are all set to begin matriculating with our elite student body this fall. There's only one problem. You have no magical ability. That's right, whether through clerical error or cosmic joke, you were mistakenly admitted to Smitherton despite your utter lack of magical gifts. But you're determined to make the most of it, and that means one thing: not getting caught. If your teachers or classmates find out, you know you're out of here. So do your best, be on your guard, and if you're lucky, you might just survive to see graduation. After all, how hard could it be? This is by Curious Lichen Games, written by David Essery, art by Joanna Taylor, yeah, it's a Powered by the Apocalypse style game. There's that's just a beautiful full spread art piece. But yeah, that's cool. One of the things I'm going to be doing today is like some giveaways, and I ordered like 5 copies of this because they had like a backing thing where you could get, and like obviously I don't need 5 copies of this game. So at some point today I will do some giveaways, and yeah, see if I can get some folks copies of this. Let's see. Sorry, just trying to figure out where to put it. Okay. Yeah, so I think I covered all the high points. This is basically how these things are going to go. I've broken everything down into 2-hour blocks. I am going to chat with y'all for a bit. Every block I'll re-explain sort of Extra Life and how to donate and all that rest of the stuff, because I don't assume that people are going to be here all day today, and so I'm assuming I'm bringing new information every time. And then we'll play whatever game I have scheduled for that time period. I will also probably, well, not probably, I will be shutting down, like ending the stream every 2 hours, because I don't want to end up with like a 24-hour VOD at the end of this. I very much want to like keep it in like roughly 2-hour chunks, so that I can, that'll make it way easier for me to like upload this to YouTube, where it's going to live on my YouTube channel. If you're wondering where to find my YouTube channel or anything else that I do, I think this will work. Yep, there we go. Oh, and yeah, there we go. Stream Elements was just about to send an automated message in, so hashtag DLC will give you more information about what I'm doing around the internet and stuff like that. Okay, so I think it's time that we play some Fire Sauce Fever Dream. This, full disclosure, Amber, who was just in chat, and will be returning, hopefully in time to see me play their game. Oh, Amber. Amber also donated. Oh. Y'all are a delight. And let's see here. A smart man would have had this open before we started, but you know what? So, Fire Sauce Fever Dream, a solo journaling TTRPG experience. And this uses the Folds SRD, designed by Fleet Dietrich. Fleet is another amazing game designer. I am actually going to be working on a game that they are currently working on, called My Mother's Kitchen. I'll be editing that, but it's a solo journaling game. That one is a solo journaling game about 4 generations cooking a family recipe, and sort of the situations around that. And so that is going to be a lot of fun. But today we're here to play Fire Sauce Fever Dream. It's 2000, the peak of Taco Bell's innovative years. Life still felt frivolous, joyful even. Any downturns in mood could easily be solved with a 69-cent hard taco and a bag of cinnamon twists. Oh God, ain't that the truth? Beneath the ceaselessly buzzing fluorescent lights, surrounded by a sea of gray, teal, and purple plastic seating, it's easy for any hungry patron to sink into the air of mystical whimsy that permeates the dining room. And yet, there are still days in which the fire sauce tastes off as if it taken on a flavor you'd not experienced before in this plane of existence. A new breed of customer has started to awaken, who spends 10 whole minutes berating the high school junior behind the counter, just trying to earn their $5.15 minimum wage. God damn it, you've already gotten this colored Godzilla googly eye straw. You have 10 of them at home in a drawer and your mom's pissed. Today is a day in which the usually immaculate vibes are off through some atmospheric interference. A rare fever dream where the overhead radio speaker sounds gratingly tinny while pumping out Smash Mouth and Sugar Ray's latest hits. Today, you're confined in the walls of the fake American hacienda with no means of escape. Ask not for whom the Taco Bell tolls. It tolls for thee. Yeah. So, number of players, 1. Total play time, 30 to 60 minutes. We might be just a titch longer because we're going to build the cootie catcher. You will need cootie catcher, see last page, pen and paper, or word processor. Taco wisdom, up for interpretation. Yeah. So the first thing we have to do is create a name for our character. Well, actually, let's skip ahead because I'm going to have to... Actually, you know what? First of all, I am going to, and someone in chat may already be screaming this at me, but I don't actually have chat in front of me right now. Yes, Amber does kick ass in this thing. Here is, if you want to pick up a copy of the game for yourself, here is a link to Fire Sauce Fever Dream. It is well worth it, if for no other reason than getting back to a point in your life where you make a cootie catcher, which I knew it was going to be an awesome game as soon as Amber talked about it. But they were very coy and not talking about like how the game actually played, just that it was about Taco Bell and that it was a solo journaling game. And yeah, so when I discovered that it was like played with a cootie catcher, that was just brilliant. And Fleet is brilliant for coming up with that. So, those of you who may not have had the same misspent childhood, or may not remember back to when they were that young, hey Amber, you're back just in time to watch me build a cootie catcher. All right. We're doing it live, people. Okay, so to build a cootie catcher, you need a sheet of paper. I could have grabbed a piece of paper out of the printer, but again, what kid did that? You know, if you were that annoying kid who had like a printer at home when none of your other friends did, and was printing up, like would send out those very, very early printed birthday invitations and things like that. But the very first thing you want to do, so the piece of paper needs to be square. And this is obviously not square. So I could, if I were so inclined, grab myself a ruler. But again, I didn't start carrying a ruler around with me everywhere I went until like much later in life. So, mean, I was a Boy Scout, but like I wasn't that prepared. Let's not be. All right. So I have, I think, folded this down to. Now I'm going to tear it. I'm making this like I was a kid. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do a lot of origami, but I did do a lot of paper folding, a lot of paper airplane making, and a lot of, and that was one of the secrets, is that a lot of times, like depending on the plane you were making, you wanted like a square piece of paper just so that it would be a little bit more aerodynamic. So there you go. I've torn it so that that is roughly a square. I am happy with that. Okay. Now that you have your square piece of paper, you're going to take it, and this is where you find out, and I'm only just now realizing, having done this, that is, in fact, how I could have known, could have actually just made like an absolutely perfect square. See, the muscle memory is starting to come back, because I'm sure that looks square on there, but you can see when I fold the paper over to fold the corner, there is that little bit down at the bottom there. So I have failed both as a human being and as a man, and I need to correct that. So let me just, luckily, being an adult, I have a number of sharp objects around. So let me just fix that. All right. Okay. I know, right? And I didn't even measure once, so I was pretty much doomed out the gate. Okay. Hey, look at that! I folded a perfect square. But anyway, after you have your perfect square, however you manage to get there, I mean, I can't remember the last time I folded a paper crane. I know, and honestly, if you ever do a sleep study, that would be really entertaining for the people who are watching you, Kat. But welcome to anybody who has just popped into chat. If you are wondering what we're up to here today, we are raising money for Extra Life. We are playing at the Space Jambers Fire Sauce Fever Dream, which requires, hey, Alec, thank you for the follow. Which requires, oh, thanks, Ember, a cootie catcher or a fortune teller, which I am currently building. So once you have your square piece of paper, you're going to fold it into a triangle. You're basically just going to, and then you're going to do that in the opposite direction as well. So let me just quickly do that thing. And at this stage, what you're basically doing is you're creating guides for yourself, because you're going to do more folding. And that folding would be, so right now, now you have a piece of paper that has, you could make a little tent. If you have like a small pet or something like that, now you have like a little awning for them. But we're going to continue on, gerbil awnings aside. And so, an Obi hat. Ooh, yes. I will make hats for Obi. I will make hats for Obi 9 times. So then the next step is you're going to fold each of the corners into the center. So you can see we had the big cross in the center, and then I'm going to take each of the corners and fold, and you can see that the previous fold that you put in by making the triangles allows you to line up along that line, so that you hopefully get perfectly straight, perfectly lined up, and you just want like the point of the tip of the paper to come to the very center. Yeah, I know this is like the exciting television that you came by to watch this morning, is watching the side of Brent's face as he folds a cootie catcher, but I promise all right. So then what you end up with is this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, Amber is... I get that vibe off Obi, too. I think Obi would fight a hat. So... That is what you end up with. So I'll fold it back out just to, right? So we started by folding it into triangles, and then we folded those corners in. And now we have like a smaller square of paper that is folded over. Not unlike, what is that thing that they make at Taco Bell that is essentially just like, is it just a quesadilla? Not a quesadilla. Anyway, crunch wrap. There you go. Not unlike making a crunch wrap. So if you can make a crunch wrap, you can make a cootie catcher. No problem. I'm not sure that is like necessarily translates, but we're going to go with it. And then from here, I'm trying to remember, which way do I fold now? Because I have to make like the little pockets for the fingers to go in. I will say, this is a good time to mention this. You don't have to watch me. If you pick up a copy of this game, and you absolutely should, please follow the link I put in chat and go buy a copy of it. And in fact, I'll do it again because I know it's still in my... There you go. There's the link to pick up a copy of the game. The game itself has a QR code that will take you to a video that gives you like a step-by-step breakdown of actually the very bottom of the page. It's very this whole game is so very cleverly laid out and designed. So I'm just, oh, and of course, yes, while I'm on stream is when my phone is going to be like, oh, hey, fingerprint isn't enough. We actually need you to put in a password. Why do you got to do this to me? Okay. Nope, reverse. No, I don't want a picture of me. I want a picture of this QR code. Yeah. How to make a cootie catcher. It's as simple as that. I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. No. And brilliant. Okay. We'll pause instead of taking that away. All right. with the help of internet technology. Where's your ruler? It went missing on you? If those tears are because I complimented your game, Amber, then just keep crying, because I'm 100% serious. This game is clever on levels that, like, I hope folks appreciate when they pick it up. In any case, once you get to this point and you have like now you're going to do found it in the other room. Okay, the calligraphy zone. Until you said it, Kat, I didn't realize you had a calligraphy zone, but also that makes a lot of sense. So then what you're going to do is, again, following the lines, the fold lines that you created for yourself, you're going to fold over each of these corners. So you have this side of the paper. Sorry, I'll hold it up, realizing that I'm not. So you have like this side of the paper that is like open. You're going to flip it over, and then you're going to fold over into the corners again. Essentially, you're just creating like a smaller and smaller square as you go along. And you're probably thinking to yourself right now, like, well, Brent, who cares? All you've done is like fold this blank piece of paper into like smaller squares. And I'm here to tell you that we're going to do something. All right. So then, yeah, so then you sort of like, I think this is the point. Oh, did your internet hack out? I'm sorry, Amber. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm doing. All right. Yeah, once you got it to that stage, then instead of folding it diagonally like we have been doing, you're going to fold it. Well, it's a square, so saying lengthwise is sort of, but you're going to fold it lengthwise in both directions just to establish those folds. And now, having done that, we've got, come on, hands. I know you're big. You can do it. There we go. We've built a cootie catcher. Woo! All right. But now we've got to put cool stuff on the cootie catcher, because this is how the game is played. So, luckily, so on the, I'm just going to use a Sharpie, which may get me in trouble because this is thin paper, but Trouble is my middle name. Actually, I have like 4 or 5 middle names, and Trouble is not one of them. I may reveal what some of my middle names are. I'm okay with doing that because I don't use any of them for like passwords or anything like that. So I don't really care. But yeah, being the firstborn child in my particular family meant that my parents had to appease both my father's side of the family, which is a mix of Protestant and Catholic, and my mother's side of the family, which is Scots Presbyterian. So, yeah, I got a lot of middle names. But anyway, now once you have your cootie catcher, the game has like a template for this. So your 4 big categories are hunger, desperation. Sounds fine and totally normal. Look, whomst among us has not been desperate in a Taco Bell at some point in our lives? Well-being. Sir, this is a Taco Bell. I don't know. I guess if we limit it, if we separate out physical well-being, then yes, all the other types of well-being are still on the table. And of course, because it is Taco Bell in the 2000s, Ratitude. That is Ratitude with a D, Raditude. It has, in case my pronunciation threw you off, it has absolutely nothing to do with Ratatouille. So let's just make that clear. And so at this point, to help me like I'm going to fold everything back out. That way I can write all the stuff. Again, this would have been like a maybe printing this off would have been the smart thing. I could have still built the shown you how to build it, and then here's one I made previously. But you know what? This is a nice, cozy way to start the morning. So Digimon toys. Oh, good lord. So while I'm doing this, and I promise you that I am writing as fast as I can. Yeah, weird. Manager. Let's talk a little bit more about how awesome this game is. So not only is there like the final page of this is like a cookie catcher that you could just like print off and make yourself, which if you haven't done it for a while, I do highly recommend. It is like a very nice little, a nice design that they've put here. And but the piece of paper that you would tear off at the bottom to make the thing square is where the QR code and stuff, everything. It's just a clever design all the way through. Never mind being a fantastic game. It would be a super fun game if it was just like, if it didn't have the cootie catcher. Just the idea of like, journaling your existential crisis while inside a Taco Bell is Bell Burger promo. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, see, we did get Taco Bell up here in Canada, but it never really caught on because we had Taco Time. And let's see. But I do remember getting seeing all the promos because they were just desperate to try and figure out how to break into. I'm actually going to switch over to a regular pen for this section because this is a little bit more involved. There are more words and the Sharpie is letting me down. So, how would you flavor? So yeah. So I have to admit I was never in Taco Bell a lot. Actually, until they started doing for a while there, they would they would do like Taco Bell and KFC together in one building. And then I would occasionally grab some Taco Bell. But more often than not, even then, more often than not, when I went in there, you would just see lineups of people for KFC chicken. And like nobody at the Taco Bell station, which is just like, it feels a little sad. But Taco Time, even though like Taco Time was not really, they were really good. They made really good tacos and really good burritos and things like that. Where they fell down is on the everything else. Taco Bell definitely had them beat with things like the cinnamon twists and stuff like that, and just the other items on the menu, because Taco Time was infamous. They had their quote-unquote cactus fries, which were just tater tots. They were just tater tots with like, season, like a different seasoning put over them. They weren't anything amazing. But honestly, sometimes you're just in the mood for tater tots. Like, what way would you... this crunchy. I apologize if you're saying stuff in chat right now. Let me actually just, because I can't, let me just pop chat up. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not wrong, Amber. Cactus does not fry well at all. A lot of water in there. You got to dry that cactus out before you fry it up. Or you just get like a sorry, I'm just going to turn off the video now that we are where we are. Yeah. Yeah, Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut. are all PepsiCo companies. And so you will often see them matched up together. Pizza Hut tried to do for a little while. They're sort of like Pizza Hut on the go. So they would like have like a little restaurant area, but mostly it was you to go in and pick up. Um, but yeah. And then yeah, Target tried to expand into Canada. That didn't go over very well. Um, Mostly because I think at the time we still had, even though Zellers was circling the drain, we still had Zellers. We still had um, like some of our own sort of homegrown. Um, there may be still some around, but we also still had like the Army and Navy, um, which sadly the one just 2 blocks away from me closed down years ago because of the pandemic. Surprise. But I used to go there all the time. Like, look, I'm not cheap. I will buy nice stuff for myself when I need to, but sometimes you just need to go and get yourself like, I don't know, a mixing bowl that you don't have to cry over if you break it, right? You spend like $5 and you do, or sometimes they would have just, I don't know, cheap canned food. And for a while there in my life, especially when I was like freelancing and stuff like that, and money was tight, going to the Army Navy and picking up like a half dozen cans of beans for $5 was was like a freaking lifesaver. Um, that and a loaf of bread, and I've got beans and toast for a week. So, um, but never bought clothes there, mostly because just nothing that I could actually wear. Um, what could be heard in the interests of like in the interest of not spending too much time on this, I'm going to just shorten some of these questions because I understand what they are. But yeah, Target never really caught on here. Yes, that's something I want to mention too. Thanks for the reminder, Amber. Is that this game encourages you to make up your own questions? So if you play this version, um, yeah, you need that vibe of dread. Um, you know, as if being in a taco, as if choosing to eat in at a Taco Bell is not dreadful enough. Um, and that's not even a knock. Like, just you know, no one who looks at the inside of a Taco Bell feels like terribly welcome or comfortable. It is objectively an uncomfortable place to be. So if you are choosing to sit down in their dining area and eat, there's already something else going on in your life. Um, yeah. um, but yes, if you've played through the um, Fire Sauce Fever Dream Standard Edition, you are then free to like go ahead and like make another cootie catcher and make your own questions. And I think that is absolutely outstanding. So I talked about I mentioned at the beginning, this is from the Folds SRD by Fleet Dietrich. And I love, oh, I love alternate versions of, like, just alternate ways of randomizing in tabletop role-playing games in general, and especially like in solo games, right? Like, and just the idea, like, using a cootie catcher, because it's perfect. It gives you, like, I was putting a lot of as I was trying to sleep last night, I was thinking like a lot about this. Thankfully, these are the sorts of questions that, those are there are the questions that you can start asking yourself as you're trying to fall asleep that impede you from falling asleep, and then there are the questions you can ask yourself um, um, that actually help you, sort of like, you can get lost in the question and start going down. And so I started thinking about, like, oh, well, what else could I do with, like, cootie catchers? Could I use them in, like, multiplayer games? Is there um and I haven't gone to actually look at Fleet's SRD for this yet, so I could be just spouting out stuff that is there, waiting for me to just read, um, and you know, it could be a situation where the stuff I'm about to say, I'm essentially like kicking over Fleet's flag and claiming the territory for Spain, but um, like, I just love the idea of, a combination of Powered by the Apocalypse and Folds, where instead of having like a playbook that you read from, um, everybody has like a cootie catcher with with like all of your special abilities on it. And if you want to, or not even all your special abilities, maybe instead of like using Powered by the Apocalypse dice to see whether you succeed or fail at something, um, you have some of your starting abilities, and so you lay them out on the cootie catcher, and then there's like your special abilities and then some blank spaces, and then whenever you have to check something, you go through and you do, you use the cootie catcher, and if you come up with one of your special abilities, then that's the ability you get to use. And that could be fun, and that could also be frustrating, especially right at the beginning of your character development, because until you add new abilities to the cootie catcher, it does sort of feel like, like you could spend a lot of turns in whatever you're doing just coming up with blank spaces, and that's not a lot of fun. That doesn't sound like fun to me. Part of because part of Powered by the Apocalypse games is that describing what you're doing, rolling the dice, and the dice give you like a spread of like, either you amazingly succeed and you can like expand on what you're doing, or let's see, or or even if you fail, there's a way for you to like potentially fail forward. You know what I mean? So using the cootie catcher that way feels like it would be a bit feels little bit too much like D&D, if I'm honest, where you roll the dice and the dice, like, it's either like, you know, rules as written, it's either like succeed or fail. Either you hit the target number or you didn't. Which might be blasphemy, but I don't think that's the funnest way to play. And sorry, I'm just twisting my head so I can read the... There we go. Yeah, that's a good idea, Amber. Having so maybe your ability has like just different effects based on what you manage to pull off. Because the other part of using the cootie catcher is I think you would have to the storyteller, or if you were doing like a GM-less game. Yes, cootie catcher. Ooh, cootie catcher as intended. Yes. Taste. Okay. So let me just refold this. Okay. So now I've got now we are ready to actually jump into playing the game. And I'm going to, sorry, just gonna fold everything. Oh, come on. Come on. All right. So let me quickly, because I need to see if I'm actually showing you anything or if I'm like, okay. So at the end of it, after you've written everything in and done all the things, you will have a cootie catcher that on the outside says hunger, gratitude, well-being, and desperation. And then if you open it up to the next level, if it unfolds like a flower, and there's other directions you can go in there that you'll end up choosing, and then underneath there are questions, prompts for your journaling. Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah, Calcrop Core would have been like a completely different feel. I think this is like one of the things that I love about this, Amber, is that it's a game about Taco Bell, about like, you know, having an existential crisis in Taco Bell. But it also feels very much like a game that you might play, like you're in Taco Bell and you're bored. And so you've got like, you pull open your school bag or you like whatever, and you rip out a piece of paper and you make a cootie catcher. And you just play like this game with your friends while you're scarfing down 69-cent hard shell tacos. And yeah, like it just works on so many levels. I think this game would absolutely have worked as a Caltrop Core game. I just feel like it wouldn't have had the same impact. So kudos to you for choosing this, because I think this is like I especially think for like solo that's why I like alternate methods of like randomizing for solo TTRPGs, because I feel like anytime you have to get out dice specifically, unless dice are somehow integral um, to the situation of the game. Like if you were doing a solo TTRPG, I don't know, about being like, shooting craps in Las Vegas. Okay, fine. Like having 2d6 involved in your game makes sense, right? That would actually be thematic and fit the game. But if you're doing like a game about like I'm a stuffed animal who protects my child every evening from the nasty things under the bed, and then suddenly you've got to like, okay, so roll a d20 and add the yeah um I would much rather have that be a thing where it's like, and I've got buttons that I have to spend in order to, right, and then that forces the player to like, you've got to have buttons or tokens or like, just something that isn't dice. I find even a deck of cards doesn't pull me out as much, because decks of cards are just so ubiquitous. I think I would feel, if somebody said, pick a house at random and go inside and bring me a deck of cards, I feel pretty confident that I could just like go into somebody's house, go to their junk drawer, or like whatever, and they would just have a deck of cards. Like I feel like that's just so ubiquitous that it's using those as randomizers is just, everybody's got them. They're just around. So it feels okay. It feels, even if it doesn't match the theme, it feels, I guess, like system neutral enough that I don't mind it. But then I also love like the games where it's like tarot and things like that, where like thematically it links in and it's all, yeah. Anyway, I got at this point like 22 hours and 45 minutes to talk more game theory. So because I have been talking for a bit, I'm going to take a sip of water. I don't even know. I haven't actually gone to look at my channel while it's live. So you would have to tell me if it's showing things like channel points or anything like that. If it is, I'm not even sure. I'm not sure at what point I get to like customize any of that, or add in my own channel point things. This whole streaming thing is very, very new to me. So anywho, let's play the game. So this is a journaling game. So I have my pen, I have my piece of paper, and let's see. It's mealtime. You have 4 courses in front of you: your taco, your entree, your side, and your drink. I have to say I do love the fact that the taco is not an entree. Taco is like an amuse-bouche for the, or what would be like the Taco Time Spanish equivalent of like an amuse-bouche. But anyway, yeah, like a taco isn't a meal. If I go to, if somebody says like, I'm going to cook you dinner, and they hand me like one hard shell taco, at that point I assume they just hate me, and this is their subtle way of letting me know, because a single hard shell taco, no matter how nicely stuffed, is not a meal. Speaking as someone who, and I don't say this with any pride, but I can fit an entire taco in my mouth. Yeah, especially a, oh, I will allow. Automod looking out for me. Yes, that is one thing. Because I am solo streaming, I do have like Automod up fairly high, just to give me time to like shut down anything untoward that might happen. But yeah, like I would I would revise that statement if I were anywhere where tacos um, like are actually the food of choice. Like if I were in Mexico, obviously the quality of my taco is going to be much higher and much better. Um, but yeah, if I'm not in Mexico and somebody hands me just a single taco and says that's dinner, I'm like, okay, you're letting me know in a you know in a food you're using food to demonstrate that we are not friends. Um, oh, Amber, that's yeah. I would expect nothing less from Sam. That's yeah, that's something I haven't done much of. I have made my own flour tortillas before, but I don't have a tortilla press. So I either form them up by hand, which is okay, um, or um, or like I'll squash them under like a under my cast iron pan. But okay, you have 4 courses in front of you: your taco, your entree, your side, and your drink. Oh, that's awesome. That's one of the best things about like just sorry, as an aside, we are going to get to the game, I promise everyone. But yeah, one of the things I love about cooking with like friends and cooking with family is just that um is just like being in the kitchen and doing it together. It's fantastic. And I used to be like one of those people that was like um there are some days when I want to cook for my friends, and there are some days that I want to cook with my friends. They're two very distinct moods. Very rarely am I able, sort of in my head, to reconcile it and do both. To be like, okay, I'm going to be over here cooking, and you can have the rest of the kitchen to do whatever you want. Most of the time, it's one or the other, but I do love just that, you know, when your friends are like, "Can I help?" Or even if they don't offer to help, it's just like, "You cut this," um, and um, yeah, just sharing food, chatting while you're making the stuff is fantastic. Um, anyway, yes, taco, entree, side, drink. It all just seems so appetizing that you can't help but consume them one by one. Repeat the next few steps 4 times. Okay, so we are starting with the taco because there is an order, people. And by God, we're going to stick to it. And you know what the order is. If you were one of those people that like orders all this stuff in like a Taco Time or really anywhere else, and you're like, well, I'm going to eat my side first. It's like you are history's greatest monster. You will be judged. The revolution will not be kind to you. All right. It is time to take stock of the world around me. So I choose one of my attributes: hunger, desperation, wellness, and ratitude, to color the situation and how I'm going to approach answering the prompt. So, using a pinching motion to shift the cootie catcher. So, if you're unfamiliar with this, you will take thumb and pointer on each hand, thummy and pointy, and put it in the cootie catcher. Thusly. So you are essentially, and now you have like little finger puppets that you are. I really should have started with a larger sheet of paper because I cannot express to you how much this is like feeling like one of those like paper finger vaults. But actually, no, I can't get it, my fingers to go in both directions. Again, too much time spent working outside in the cold. I've lost some flexibility in my things. No. Amber, it is not you. I seriously doubt you have baby hands. You probably have like wonderful, I hesitate to use the word normal, but you probably have like wonderful average hands. I have the hands of like a junior Miss Sasquatch. So like, yeah. Hunger, desperation, wellness, and gratitude. So, well, I mean, I haven't. You were just starting with the taco. I haven't eaten yet, so let's go with hunger. Let's go with hunger. Using a pinching motion to shift the cootie catcher, spell out the word of the attribute of your choice. So yeah, so you've got it like this. You've got it closed, and basically what you do is you just start spelling out. So H. I can't remember if it's like every opening is a letter. So H. I'm going to do it that way. H U N G E R. Okay, so R opens up to that. So now I've got 4 potential choices. Hey Yuki, thanks for coming by. So I have 8 new possible so actually 4 new possible, because if I just open it up to that, there are 8 total, and I've got 4 to choose from. So so now I choose. You basically choose which thing I want to work on. So the 4 that I've got here are market researcher, weird manager, Taco Bell dog, and Bell Burger promo. Huh. I will say I did try the Bell Burger once upon a time when they were trying to do that, and all I can say to that is, Taco Bell, you have a very sharply delineated lane in which you need to stay, and burgers are not one of them. Burgers do not fall in that lane. Burgers are over here. And like I'm gesturing off screen because it's like, no, they're far away from anything that you should be worried about. Oh, the snow is very pretty right now. Sorry, I can see out the window in my gaming room, and I just noticed it's snowing. Yes, it is. We're coming into winter here in Canada, and we are forecasted to get like a bunch of snow over the rest of November. So I have very high hopes that it will be a very pretty white Christmas, white holiday season. So I will share pictures of that. Yeah, there aren't a huge amount of Taco Bells here in Canada, Yuki. It's mostly like taco times. The Taco Bells that are here usually match up with like a KFC or a Pizza Hut. And yeah, like I get companies wanting to do like, you know, expand their brand. Oh, thanks, Nightbot. Oh, sorry, not nice. Hey, Allie, how are you? Thanks, Amber, for popping extra life into the chat. Sorry, I do have like alerts set up. I will have to investigate this when I go for my first break. Are you willing to disclose what color, or is it going to be like a big social media reveal later on? While you are potentially... Okay. All right. Yeah. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm actually not in OBS for this. I'm in Twitch Studio, but you are absolutely right. Oh, okay. There was an alert that... Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll do some at the top of my next section. I'll do some like playing around. That can be part of my just chatting. Is me fixing some things live. Like I said, I'm really new to this whole streaming thing. So, all right. But anyway, having done that, so now we've got 4 choices: market researcher, Bell Burger promo, weird manager, Taco Bell dog. Well, I mean, who doesn't like a dog? So I'm going to unfold that. And the prompt under there is, yeah, as I'm sitting in the Taco Bell right now, and I do want to read out the rules. So lift up the flap and read the prompt question beneath, like incredulously reading how little it actually costs to fill up on your meal today. Amber, you are so smart. And then using your writing utensils and precious little mind, answer the prompt with the 2 inciting incidents and your attribute as inspiration on how the scene plays out. So I feel like Taco Bell dog. What could be heard as I sit here contemplating my taco, because we were on the taco course. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, Yuki. It is complicated. I'm enjoying that level of complication. It's a lot of fun for me to... So I'm realizing as I've actually given myself like some hardware that I can stream on and stuff like that. So now I know that like whatever issue I'm having is not immediately a hardware issue. That I miss the technical aspects of when I used to work in theater. Like even as a stage manager, you know, used to have to sit with the sound and the lighting tech and do like troubleshooting and things like that. And I sort of miss that aspect of working on a show, where we would sit down and like figure out a tech problem together, or not even a problem, but like, you know, the director has asked for this particular effect. How can we pull it together? And I'm just starting to dip my toe into stuff like that for streaming, and I'm finding it a lot of fun. You know, I still want to keep things relatively simple because I think a lot of the time it's just going to be me talking to all of you about games and stuff like that. But I do also want that to be entertaining. So, you know, the more that I can do to sort of add little bits and bobs to make that something fun. So I will take this moment while I'm sort of thinking about like what to write for my prompt, because I noticed we have some new followers or some new people in chat. Thank you so much for dropping by. I am playing solo TTRPGs for 24 hours to raise funds for Extra Life. And if you type as I am doing extra life, exclamation point extra life into chat. There's the link to my donation page. Thank you so much to the folks who have already donated today. Thank you, Amber, and thank you, Kat, for your very, very generous donations. It is greatly appreciated. My goal at the start of today is there on the screen, and we are already 73.8% of the way there. Yes, that's right. I can do math in my head. As long as it only involves like multiplying by 100 and moving a decimal point around. So what can I hear? So my problem was a Taco Bell dog. And what can I hear? I think it's really weird that like somebody would the thing what I can hear is that there's like a lady in line who has one of those I don't even know if this was really big and popular in the 2000s, but has like one of those purse chihuahuas. Just gonna have a sip of coffee. Okay, that was more of a gulp, but coffee. And she's talking to her purse chihuahua in that way where, while she's trying to appear like she's not trying to attract attention, she's just having a conversation with her purse chihuahua. You can sort of tell that she wants people to be paying attention to her. She's doing like cutesy things like trying to encourage the purse chihuahua to say like, you know, to talk like the Taco Bell dog. You know, it's like say Pocoro Taco Bell, say I think I'm going to need a bigger box. Throwing that out there for anybody who remembers Taco Bell's Godzilla promotions. Yeah. I mean, it's sort of cute. Oh, yeah. I mean, I knew you would. I mean, it's sort of cute in a. It's sort of cute, but it's also equally obvious that the dog just is not into it. Like, this dog would rather be like anywhere but here, anywhere but a purse, first of all, and then just like anywhere but a Taco Bell in a purse. Yeah, you can sort of, you know, the people glaring at her, and she's completely oblivious to it. And then she gets up to the front of the line finally, and is like, "Did you want to order our food for us? Did you? Oh." And of course, the person behind the counter is just like, "I am getting paid minimum wage. Please just order your very inexpensive food and go away." So yeah, that is the opening. That is my opening scene of what I'm experiencing here in the Taco Bell, and that is as easy as this game is to play. You know, once you've got your cootie catcher, you are off to the races, and or in this case, you are off to like Taco Bell, and I having already had breakfast this morning, and I didn't really want to order. I probably could have. I think it would be awesome if if you've got this game and you want to order. Actually, here, let me. Because there are more of you in chat now. There is a link to Fire Sauce Fever Dream. That is the game we are playing. Please go pick up a copy. It is fantastic. The creator of the game, the one, the only, the outstanding, the Space Jamber, Amber, is here in chat. So everybody say hi to Amber and thank them for an absolutely fantastic little game. But yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun for somebody to like go and just order a bunch of Taco Bell and then play along, right? Either go to an actual Taco Bell and sit down and play this, or order it in and then just like have the physical props there to help get you in the mood. Okay. So having shoved an entire that would be a lot of fun, honestly. I mean, not everything has to be content, but honestly, I would sort of watch that. That would be fun. Yeah. 100% watch that. Watch that 9 times. All right. And then it's repeat. So we're going to do this. So now we're on to the entree. Yeah, again, I've blanked on the name of the thing, but I'm going to I think my entree today is going to be that Crunchwrap. Crunchwrap Supreme? Is it just Crunchwrap? Are there 2 levels of Crunchwrap? Crunchwrap and Crunchwrap Supreme? I mean, I think I've answered my own question. Of course, there has to be, right? Like, why would you leave money on the table like that? Oh, thanks for coming by. There you go. Kat has spoken. Thanks for coming by, Kat. Enjoy your angel violence. Okay. It's just the Crunchwrap Supreme. Okay. That's fair. I could see where perhaps the double and triple decker Crunchwraps might not have been big sellers. I'm a fool for things like that. If I go to a burger place, like A&W Burger here I guess I am speaking from like a level of like having big hands. It's I can deal with things that are multi-layered a little bit better. But like A&W here has something called the what is it, the Grandpa Burger, which is like their triple patty, like triple patty with cheese and bacon and like big slab of tomato and lettuce on it. I'm just a sucker for stuff like that. Anyway, so we're gonna eat our entree, and I think I'm no longer hungry because I've just had a taco. I'm not full. But A&W hamburgers are really good. I know a lot of folks won't agree with me, but A&W makes some damn good burgers. I don't know where they are in the States at all, but they're pretty ubiquitous across Canada, and they make some really good stuff. A&W root beer is the thing. That's what they're most famous for, is that they were one of the first chain restaurants here in Canada to really go hard with root beer. So, starting, of course, back when root beer was a little bit more beer than it was soda pop. But yeah, so I've just had a taco. I'm not really hungry. I don't think I'm ready for Ratitude yet. Not feeling the Ratitude. Let's go Desperation because, yeah, like that weird dog lady, purse dog lady has thrown me off a little bit, and I'm hoping, like, I'm just not in the mood yet. I'm hoping like this Crunchwrap Supreme is gonna turn my life around. So Desperation, Desperation. And we are, oh no, okay. Cassie, hi, thanks for lurking. Ooh, what type of soup are you making? We love a good soup in this house. We also love a good coffee in this house. Okay, yeah. Look, tomato vegetable soup is like outstanding. That's actually sort of what I have in the slow cooker right now. Just in order to make sure that I had like hot food all day. Yeah, I've got like a slow cooker with diced tomatoes and black beans and onions, and yeah, oh, the slow cooker is amazing. I love it. Especially on days like today where like I've actually got it on like it's fast cook, which is still 4 hours. But because I put it on at like 7 this morning, by 11 it will be done. And then yeah, like I just toss in. Most of the time I don't even have a recipe. I just toss stuff in there and just let it cook. Add spices that I feel are appropriate, and then salt to taste, and yeah, like just soups are so great that way. Mushroom and turnip, that sounds amazing. I will have to add both those things to my next shopping list so that I can get some of those in, because I need some more. Winter is here, and I need some more like heartier, robust soups. The more brothy type soups I find are great for summertime and stuff like that, because I can like put it in a mug and quickly drink it. But yeah, come the wintertime here when it's like -30 out, really nothing hits better than like just a big chunky, like thick, like almost like gravy broth, that's like potatoes and vegetables and I don't know, beans, some type of protein. Like, yeah, all of that just is amazing. Anyway, so we had got to, so the 4 things I have here are Digimon toys. Ooh. Fucking Karen. Yep. Field trip lunch. Shell shortage. I think I am going to go with. So my main topic was desperation, and I think I am going to go with. Well, nothing on here sounds more desperate to me than. Oh, but it could be. like shell shortage sounds desperate. If you're in a Taco Bell and you have like you're running out of shells, like why is your door even open, right? Like if you're a Taco Bell that can't make tacos, something is horribly wrong with the universe. But I am not specifically Digimon toys, but I am very familiar with the desperation that comes from collecting things when I was younger. So I think I'm going to go with Digimon toys and read the thing under there. Oh, sip of Pepsi. Okay, yes. So the question that I have is like, where can I sneak off to get a sip of my Pepsi? Because remember, we're doing this in order. There is an order to this, and anyone who flaunts that order is one of history's greatest monsters. So I need to find a place that like get away from my just I can't let anybody see me sip my drink ahead of time. Like that would be awful. So I think I'm gonna do like I fight it for a bit, and I try not to, but I don't know. Maybe I choked on like a little flake of something off of the Crunchwrap Supreme, and so I really need to drink something, but I don't want to break the order, or I don't want to be seen to break the order anyway. So I think me and my Pepsi are actually going to, and this is probably going to gross some people out. Me and my Pepsi are going to take a little walk to the washroom. I'm going to hide myself in a stall. I'm going to hide my shame away, and take a sip of my Pepsi. Yeah, we don't want to be smote by the branding gods. So yeah, I'm probably not fooling anyone. Like, let's be honest. If I'm in a Taco Bell and I'm ordering stuff, given how cheap things in a Taco Bell are, I have probably ordered like the largest drink they have. So that's part of the problem too, is that like there's no way for me to really hide the fact that I'm drinking this thing, and there's no way for me to hide this thing as I'm heading to the washroom, like as I casually saunter in the direction of the Taco Bell washrooms. Which, if you thought eating in like a Taco Bell restaurant was an experience, Taco Bell washrooms are like just a whole other level of experience onto that. But yeah, I sip my Pepsi, my ice cold, mostly ice Pepsi, and feel that wash of sugar hit my system. Instantly, I'm feeling better about the world. But now I have to do the walk of shame back to my table. And I can feel like, I don't know if they are or not, but it's one of those things like I feel like everybody's eyes, everybody in the restaurant is just looking at me and judging me. They all know I'm an early Pepsi sipper. And yeah. All right. But that is my Crunchwrap Supreme down. That is the entree. Now we are on to the dessert. And I mean, like, look. My side. Which in this case I think is going to be dessert. Like, honestly, of all the possible sides, why would I not get a piece of fried bread covered in sugar and cinnamon? Why would you not? Hey, Eli. Ellie? Eli, you know what? I'm just realizing that this is the very first time that I've said your name out loud, and I'm not sure if it's Eli or Ellie. So I hope one of those is correct, and I apologize if not. But thank you for stopping by. Eli? Okay, good. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. We are playing Amber's game, Fire Sauce Fever Dream. We're actually on the 3rd round, so I'm going to be wrapping it up. We may go a little over, and I'm okay with that. This day is pretty flexible, so I'm going to be awake for 24 hours, and so I get to do what I want. So yes, I do the walk of shame from the washroom back to my table with my partially drank Pepsi and slide back into my just feeling the disapproval of everybody. And honestly, probably no one in the restaurant cares. Like, I'm there on my own. I don't know any of these people. Unless you're someone like me, you don't go to like a Taco Bell to people watch. I feel like Taco Bell is where you go to like be very anonymous and just not attract attention to yourself. You just want to get on the outside of as much cheap faux Mexican food as you possibly can in the shortest amount of time. And you don't need to pay attention to anybody else. There's no reason why they should be judging you. Look, I can fit an entire Taco Bell taco into my mouth all at once. And people can just mind their own business about that. All right. So this is the side, and like I said, yes, we're gonna have like the is it twists, cinnamon twists? It's cinnamon something. It is it is Taco Bell's variation. It is Taco Bell's version of fried bread covered in sugar and cinnamon. And there is no shame in it. Only joy. I don't yet think I'm approaching Ratitude. Are they really? I had no idea. Wow. Fried rotini pasta. Huh. I'm assuming they cook the rotini first and then deep fry it, right? And then they puff up? Or do they cook them from like... I was going to say that do they cook them from like, the hard dried pasta? Mostly because I can't imagine Taco Bell like having like fresh pasta around. That seems... Nope, it's raw. Okay. I'm assuming it's the dried stuff. Like they just pour a portion of the dry pasta into the... Because I'll be honest, it would seem it does not seem in Taco Bell's milieu, theme, whatever, for them to just have like, all of the rest of the food that Taco Bell does, and then they also have fresh pasta kicking around. Like, that doesn't seem... But I could be wrong. Maybe that is their one like unspoken claim to fame, is that they make their rotini fresh in store every day. What do I know? All right. So yeah, I'm not yet at the level of Ratitude, but I am starting to feel some well-being. So we're gonna go with the well-being prompt first. So again, you take your cootie catcher and you spell out well-being. So WELLBING. Ooh, and we're back to shell shortage, Digimon toys, fucking Karen, or field trip lunch. Let's see. I feel like I'm gonna go with, well, maybe not. Like, it was never Digimon toys for me. That was never the thing that I collected. I collected a lot of things, but collecting things I feel like fits with well-being. I'm gonna go with that. Okay, so the prompt is, what can you see that is making the room less rad? I mean, that's a tough call in a Taco Bell. And yes, I know they're working so hard to try and make everything rad inside the Taco Bell, especially a 2000s Taco Bell, where I do remember having a friend who worked at a Taco Bell just briefly, and like Ratitude is actually something from like their training thing. It's not, it's the Taco Bell version of, you've got to come to work with like a good attitude. You got to come in with Ratitude every day. And I'm just like, oh, man, why do you, anyway. But something specifically, even beyond like the background radiation of how a Taco Bell normally makes you feel, something is harshing my vibe. What is that? Oh, there's just a person. Oh yeah, let me think that out a little bit more. We have new people popping in and stuff like that, so I am going to reshare. Extra life. Boop. That's my donation link. The games I'm playing today are all in support of. Thanks, Amber. The games I'm playing today are in support of Extra Life, and we are currently playing Fire Sauce Fever Dream by Amber. So if you follow that link through, that's my donation page. There's tons of incentives on there. Actually, in a few minutes here, when we finish up this, I'm going to do like a stream break. I'm going to like end the stream and then come back to the stream so that it breaks it down into like a shorter chunk in the VOD, and that way I don't end up at the end of the day with like a 24-hour VOD. I end up with 12 roughly 2-hour ones. But so do stick around and chat. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just shutting the stream down temporarily to make that break. And we'll talk a little bit more about the details of like what's on my page and incentives and stuff like that. So I think there's just this guy, as I'm like happily munching away on my cinnamon sticks and feeling that, the preemptive sip of Pepsi that has given me like the initial sugar rush, and then I'm just feeling like that I'm eating that brilliant combination of fried dough and sugar and cinnamon, and just feeling really good about life. But then like there's this guy who's sitting across the restaurant staring at me, and like still eating but staring at me. He's got a table full of tacos in front of him, and I mean like a tray just heaped high with tacos, and he's just staring at me and eating tacos. So it's very much like he'll just pick a taco up off the tray and unwrap it, and eat it. And bits of it'll fall away, and he doesn't really notice. He's not doing anything to like catch any of the crumbs or stuff like that. He just continues to stare at me while he eats his way through, I'm gonna say there's like 20 tacos there. And so I just turned it into a competition, which I'm destined to lose. But like, I just stare right back and eat my cinnamon twists, and yeah, and stare him down, and we both just silently eat our food and stare at one another, and that is how I get through my cinnamon twists. So it's a bit odd. It's not really like anything awful, but yeah, it does sort of like take away some of the radness. But having gotten to the end of my cinnamon twists now, as far as I hope anyone else is concerned, I'm about to take my first sip of Pepsi, because we are on to the drink course. And the only one I haven't picked on here is Ratitude. Oh, how does it impact my well-being? I don't feel... I was really looking forward to savoring these. Like, they're my favorite part of the meal. And I didn't really get to savor them. Instead, I had to turn it into some sort of like weird competition with a stranger across the Taco Bell. And I didn't even really want to do that. Like, it's just... But for some reason, once I saw that he was staring at me, I couldn't like look away. And so, yeah. So I'm not feeling good going into this last one. I need some Ratitude. And I'm going to get that because I got the biggest Pepsi they have. I don't think they were doing free refills at this point. I don't know if they've ever done free refills in a restaurant. But I definitely got the biggest one they have. And, yeah, you can go to a store and you can buy like a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi or something like that and have a lot of Pepsi. There's just something about like when they get the mix just right on a fountain Pepsi. And by just right, I mean someone has adjusted the syrup just a little bit too high. And so you're getting just that extra bit of syrup. And then it's just like there's so much ice in the drink that it is literally ice cold. Yeah, there's just something about fountain Pepsi or fountain Coke. I'm agnostic. I will drink either. I'm actually more of like a Dr. Pepper fan, if I'm anything. And also, I'm angry that we don't get a lot of the other flavors of colas here in Canada. Yes, Dr. Pepper. Mostly because it's the only thing we can't get a cherry cola to save our lives. But for some reason, I can find like Diet Dr. Pepper vanilla like every freaking where I go. And I'm not complaining about that. I love that. Again, I have like a little mini fridge in the game room here that I have it set at. I've adjusted the temperature so that it is at that perfect temperature where the drink itself is ice cold, and depending on conditions, like it is just above the point where if I crack the drink open, sometimes depending on where it's been sitting in the fridge, if it's been up against the fridge wall or if it's been up against the thing, what'll happen is I'll pop the drink and ice crystals will form at the top of the can, like, so that'll be the top layer. It'll make its own ice basically. Yeah, that to me, like, just that super, super cold is perfect. And has the added benefit for anyone who is worried, like, doesn't drink the sugar-free stuff because, it doesn't taste. I get it. But when it's super cold like that, Coke Zero tastes pretty much identical to just regular Coke. Same with Dr. Pepper. But anyway, Ratitude. So here we go. Raditude. We've got market research, weird manager, Taco Bell dog, Bell Burger promo. We've already done Taco Bell dog, so I'm not going to revisit that because I'm demoing, and we should try always. Here's a little tip if you're ever demoing a game: always try to do the new thing if you can. Don't retread over territory you've already covered, because you want to show off as much as the game as possible. Actually, chat, why don't you shout out? So the options we've got are market research, Bell Burger promo, and weird manager. Of those three, which one do you want me to go with? Weird manager? Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else got a vote? I will have to pour a new coffee during the break. All right. Hearing no other opinions, we're going to go with weird manager. So let's see. Why is this moment lacking in taste? Yeah, you know what? I think I talked about like what it's like when they get the Pepsi, the fountain mix right. For certain definitions, I mean, like, right for me, like, more syrup, less. But there's also that, like, when they get the Pepsi, when they get the fountain mix wrong. And so I think this moment is lacking in taste because without realizing it, they gave me, or maybe they did realize it and they just didn't care because they're minimum wage workers, and why the heck should they? But for whatever reason, the Pepsi syrup just wasn't coming through, and so I've got, like, it's a vaguely brownish water, but it is mostly seltzer, or not seltzer. This is the 1920s. It is mostly like soda water and ice, which maybe I got like the, because unless you stir it around, they'll stratify. So maybe my first sip I didn't notice because, I didn't notice it because I basically drank the layer that had like the actual, what little Pepsi mix made it into my drink. But now that I'm ready to like drain this thing in one go, suddenly there's no Pepsi to be had, and so in that indignant way that only a teen in a Taco Bell in the 2000s can have, because this is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. I march up to the counter and like demand a new drink, and threaten to speak to the manager. And the person behind the counter is like, "Well, I am the manager." and yeah, things go downhill from there, because there's never there's never a good teenager manager interaction in a Taco Bell, really. Like, let's be honest. Um, but um, because they are required to, if you say the like some of the magic words about, like, you know, complaining to regional or any of the other stuff, they will give you. Um, they have like coupons and stuff to give out. So I did not get my delicious hit of Pepsi at the end of my meal, which is a shame. But I do have a 2-for-1 Crunchwrap Supreme coupon, usable on my next visit. 1 coupon per customer, and only. Minimum order required. And that is my weird interaction with the manager. And I have come to the end of my meal at Taco Bell, feeling full but not satisfied, which is pretty much the pretty much the normal state of things if you eat at a Taco Bell. So thank you so much, Amber. This was a really fun game to play, and I mean, you get to do arts and crafts, and the game has like a QR code for you to scan, so that if you don't know how to make a cootie catcher, you will know how to make one, like really quick. But yeah, that is Fire Sauce Fever Dream. Let me drop the link in chat one more time. Please go check that out. Please go check out everything else Amber has made as well, because they make some absolutely fantastic stuff. And we haven't made any sort of like really big formal. Yes, that's one of the details that I love, is that it is the price of a quesadilla. It is $2.49, which is amazing. We haven't really made it a big announcement about it yet. We've been sort of like hinting and teasing and stuff like that, but we are, Amber and I are going to be doing a show together in the new year, called TTRP Genealogy, and thank you very much to Sam for giving us that name. It is brilliant. It is the perfect encapsulation of what the project is going to be. But essentially, we're going to be doing like a number of videos where we interview creators, both new creators and creators from like back in the early days of gaming, and we're going to draw sort of like, I wouldn't say a straight line, but we're going to like connect the dots between like some games that were created in like the early days of gaming, like the 70s and 80s, and games that exist today. So yeah, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. We're going to interview some really cool people, talk about games a lot, and a lot of it's going to be pre-recorded, and some of it's going to be live sometimes, and we're still figuring stuff out, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to that, because like Amber is an absolute joy to talk to, regardless of the topic. But when we get talking about games, it is just a lot of fun to like bounce back and forth and bounce around with ideas and stuff like that. So I am excited. But I think so. If you're sticking around, please do like just continue to hang out in chat for a moment. I am going to end the stream, so I'm going to take us to the starting soon screen again. I'm going to end the stream. Then I'm going to restart the stream so that I have like a more manageable VOD. And then while the starting soon screen is going, I'm going to go pour myself another coffee, do a quick bio break, and then I will be right back. And we will jump into chatting some more and talking about the next game. So if you're looking, don't panic. Just I will be back in like about 10 minutes. Yeah. So thanks, everyone. See you in a bit.